Hello students, in this video I would like to discuss the syllabus of sequences. This is the syllabus of BSc 4th semester Mathematics paper 1 Karnataka University Dharwad. So in this video I would like to see the concepts of convergent sequence, divergent and oscillatory sequences, and also their properties we'll discuss in this video. First we shall see the concepts of convergent sequence, divergent sequence and oscillatory sequence. What is the definition of convergent sequence then? A sequence section is said to be converged if the sequence tends to a finite quantity. We can say that is L. In this case we say that the sequence converges to a finite value or finite quantity L. Means what? Suppose if the sequence is convergent, that sequence tends to a finite quantity then. And suppose a sequence is said to be divergent if the limit of the sequence either it is minus infinity or plus infinity, or that means positive or negative there. So that is what we can say that it is the divergent sequence that. So suppose that sequence is neither converges or neither converges or nor diverges, so that sequence is said to be oscillatory if the sequence is neither to a unique finite limit nor to a plus infinity or minus infinity. Then we can say that sequence is oscillates between the some domain of the values that is plus value and minus value that. Now we shall see some properties of convergent and divergent sequences. So let us see the first theorem of this convergent sequence. The statement of this theorem is the limit of convergent sequence is always unique that. So let us see the properties of this. The limit of convergent sequence is unique that. Suppose we can say that let xn be a convergent sequence. And if possible, we can say that we can prove it by contrary method. If possible, limit of xn as n tends to infinity, you can say that L1 quantity, L1 at, and limit of xn as n approaches to infinity, it is L2. Suppose we have two limits here, we assume that like this. So these two are convergent sequences. Let us assume that these two L1 and L2 are different from each other. That means L1 is not equal to L2. Then there exists a real number k such that magnitude of these two difference is k there. Since as we know that limit of xn as xn n tends to infinity is L1, then by the definition of limit of a sequence, there exists some finite value that is m1 positive value, which is a member of natural number such that magnitude of xn minus L1 means the modulus of xn minus L1 is less than k by 2 that. Instead of epsilon I am taking here a k there. So that is k by 2 for all n is greater than this positive quantity m1 that. Again I need to take it as that by the definition of again limit of a sequence, there exists a m2 is also member of n such that limit of xn as n approaches to infinity is L2, there exists m2 is also member of natural number such that this is also that is a modulus of xn minus L2 less than k by 2. It is for all small n, these are the numbers varying, that is those numbers is greater than this positive values, that is which is the member of natural number m2 then. So that is we called it as these two definitions for L1 and L2 limits, so that we called respectively as 1 and 2 equations. Now let us see that we can take the maximum among these two positive values, that let it be m there. That means m exceeds that both the limits of both the values of m1 and m2 there. Then from equation 1 and 2 we have there xn minus, so that we can take it, that is L1 here also, and then k by 2, that both we have discussed that from these two. But the only thing, instead of m1 and m2, we can take it as n is greater than m, that for these two. Now I consider that is the modulus of L1 minus L2. These two I am just replacing plus and minus by xn there, so that just rearranging the terms by taking individual magnitude, so that it should becomes less than or equal to. So that is what we have the substitute the definition inequality, that xn minus L2 and xn minus L1 respectively both are k by 2, k by 2, that is k itself for all n should be greater than m. But this contradicts our assumption that L1 minus L2 equal to k there. But thing is that this, as we assumed that L1 is different from L2, which is wrong. That means it is a false there assumption. So therefore L1 equal to L2 means what? The limit of convergence sequence is always unique to that. So that next another property here, limit statement of this another theorem. So limit of xn as n approaches to infinity is L, then limit of modulus of xn, magnitude of that n term of the sequence xn as n approaches to infinity, that gives magnitude of L. So then if xn is convergent, sequence xn is convergent, then show is this magnitude of xn is also convergent. So that is sequence of magnitude of xn is also convergent. So that is, now we will prove this here by taking the definition of convergent sequence. Since limit of xn as n approaches to infinity, it is L. So therefore for every epsilon is greater than 0, there exists a positive number m greater than m is member of natural number, such that modulus of xn minus L means, that is magnitude of xn minus L should be less than epsilon for all n small n greater than small m that. So now we consider that is the magnitude of this here in the definition that. So that means this if you take individual magnitude of this, so that again magnitude of magnitude difference, so that it is a magnitude difference of those xn minus L. But thing is that inequality is it should be less than or equal to, that means it is less than epsilon, that for every n should be greater than m that. This shows that limit of magnitude of nth term of that sequence as n approaches to infinity, it is also magnitude of the finite quantity that. Hence we have proved this theorem that. So another property here, that so every convergent sequence is always bounded. That means what? So we need to take the definition of convergent sequence. So then we assume that that sequence is bounded. So then we shall assume that let xn be a convergent sequence, and we take the definition of convergent sequence, so that limit xn as n approaches to infinity is L. Therefore for every epsilon greater than 0, there exists a small m belongs to n, such that this is the modulus of xn minus L should be less than epsilon. So for all this, each number which is greater than m there. So it means what? It is the just we can take it rearranging that one, so that by taking a minus here, so that it becomes xn minus L is lies between the, so that just remove this magnitude means modulus, so that it means xn minus L it is lies between the minus infinity and plus infinity for every n is greater than m that. After this m that only. And now I am taking L on both sides, so that see it is here xn should be lies between L minus epsilon and L plus epsilon for every n is greater than m. So that means the terms of the sequence after the mth term are bounded between the 1 minus epsilon and 1 plus epsilon. But we have to show that for every n, so it is a member of natural number, and xn should be lies between the small k and capital K for some real numbers, these two some real numbers capital K and small k. To this end, let us take that is k is small k is the minimum among these, the each term of the sequence up to m minus 1, but wherein that is the L minus epsilon and L plus epsilon also there, because it is why we took it here, we cannot take it as 0 there, so that we have a L minus epsilon and L plus epsilon also there, and including that it should be becomes that is x0 to xn there. So that's why here also in capital K also maximum among that, but here in that it is a minimum among these terms, and here maximum among all the terms in the sequence along with that is these L minus epsilon and L plus epsilon. Now we can clearly say that, so this xi should be greater than or equal to k for every I should be runs from that is 1, 2, 3 up to m minus 1, so that, and k is that xi is lies between that is the L minus epsilon and L plus epsilon, so that this k is less than or equal to again that is L plus epsilon and L minus epsilon that. So that is also that is this xi should be less than or equal to k, so that means for every I is running from 1 to m minus 1, and this also k, it is also L minus epsilon and L plus epsilon, which are either it is equal or greater than less than or equal to k there. Therefore we have, so that is this xn lies between the L minus epsilon and L plus epsilon. These two again that xn is also lies between this k, small k and capital K, so that for every n is member of that is natural number. That means this is supremum and infimum that. This sequence xn is lies between the supremum and infimum that. So that is what bounded above and bounded below that. That is what we have seen in this theorem there. So another theorem we have here that, so suppose if in a convergent sequence a finite number of terms are removed, so the convergence of the sequence will not alter. It means what? If you have any convergence sequence, you can remove some finite number of terms in that sequence, so that nature of that sequence will not change that. That is what it is the property says that. Now we can assume that let xn be a convergent sequence, and this limit as xn, limit of xn as n approaches to L, n approaches to infinity, that is a finite quantity L there. So we have a definition of this convergent sequence. Now I can remove some first m numbers terms can be removed from that sequence, then the resulting sequence will be, so means what, x0 to xm we can remove that, those are finite in number, so that is xm. So after the m term, so that we can take it m plus 1, xm plus 2, xm plus 3 and so on, xm plus n and so on, because since it is infinite sequence, so that we have taken that. Now we shall show that the sequence is convergent. So now we shall show that at the end, so it is limit of the sequence, this after the m term also, that will converges to L only, that as n approaches to infinity. Since again I am taking the definition of limit of xn as n tends to infinity for every epsilon, and for all m should belongs to n, such that this is also the same, that modulus of xn minus L should be less than n, for all n should be greater than capital N. Now we have that is, suppose that is small m is greater than m, and also we have m plus m term also greater than m also, capital M. So this implies that is modulus of xm plus 1 n minus L less than epsilon. Again it leads to the definition of convergent sequence, so that modulus of this limit of xm plus n minus L should be less than m. So that definitely we have that is, even though we can remove some terms in that finite number of terms in the sequence, the nature of the sequence, convergent sequence, will not change that. So that hence this sequence is convergent here. So we have discussed here concepts and definitions of convergent, divergent sequence and oscillatory sequence. And also we have discussed here the properties of convergent sequences. These are the references we have referred in this session. Thank you.